you aware of an interesting connection between the tragic story of a famous disaster at sea and a present object of controversy in what, by credentials, is the most educated district in the nation? Over 68% of whom are so confident in their sciences that they profess no reason to have faith. One of the best public education systems in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and exceeding the per-pupil expenditure of every suburban public school system in the region, albeit currently over $16 billion in debt. But they say if you can see the peak of an iceberg in the ocean, 2/3 is always below the surface. One fated captain just barely saw the peak, just 20 minutes before midnight, and the dawn of a new morning on April 15, 1914, Tax Day. Her Royal Majesty's ship, Titanic, was the flagship of the Blue Star Line and the largest ship in the world, deemed in the press to be unsinkable, but created in a fierce competition for dominance in the market share of the high seas against the Cunard Line, with its celebrated fastest ship in the world, the Mauretania, which you may remember, and its luxurious Lusitania, which you also may remember. That great wonder of modern man on its maiden voyage and passing into the third day from departing its port in Southampton, in the frigid North Atlantic waters off Newfoundland. The Titanic passed into history, while 1,500 souls perished beneath the waves with her. To be popularly known as the best, multiple instances of accepting lowered standards fated the voyage to doom long before she ever set sail. The watertight compartments, a state-of-the-art marvel that was planned to make her unsinkable, had water compartment walls that did not touch the ceiling, permitting overflow to pass into the adjoining compartments when they were filled. Somehow they failed to plan ahead, like a nearby high school that forgot that they had resurfaced their AstroTurf and decided to just repaint the logos with spray paint. An unsinkable ship was deemed not to require enough lifeboats for every passenger aboard, like a current achievement gap over 150 years old, including the over 700 passengers in steerage class who held tickets for less than $20 and who were over 60% more likely than others aboard to be recorded on the casualty list. Even before setting out to exceed a transatlantic passage record, at the beginning of the voyage, a coal fire and a near collision with the America's Line SS New York, in retrospect, provide an ominous foreboding that the ship might not ever reach its final destination. And like the story of the Tower of Babel, mythology has created a legend in this tale of hubris, of modern men and their overconfidence in science and technology. Their eyes on a prize and not watching God. In 5 years before the Arlington Public School Board culminated its progressive journey with all deliberate speed to finally desegregate its public school system that had been sending their children of color across the river to receive a public education if they so desired, Chief Justice Earl Warren wrote this in a landmark decision from the Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. Today, education is perhaps the most important function of state and local governments. Compulsory school attendance laws and the great expenditures for education both demonstrate our recognition of the importance of education to our democratic society. It is required in the performance of our most basic public responsibilities, even service in the armed forces. It is the very foundation of good citizenship. Today, it is a principal instrument in awakening the child to cultural values, in preparing him for later professional training, and helping him to adjust normally to his environment. In these days, it is doubtful that any child may reasonably be expected to succeed in life if he is denied the opportunity of an education. Such an opportunity, where the state has undertaken to provide it, is a right which must be made available to all on equal terms. Yet despite the fact of Baron von Steuben, a German who came to teach military drill and ceremony to the Continental Army to instill them with discipline for good order and proficiency in the conduct of a difficult war. A manual of procedures that has survived in the military for over 200 years. When the colors are presented by junior cadets at the beginning of every school board meeting, Superintendent Dr. Patrick Murphy stands by his position that some unnamed officer told him that he could render honor to the flag in any way that he wanted to, which is also evident in a crowd at any sporting event when the national anthem is played. He is a doctor of philosophy, so perhaps he should know. Despite the fact that only a few years ago, Time magazine, during a controversial election year, provided provocative details, most intriguing to a discerning reader, as we are informed our Arlington Public School students are encouraged to be by the critical thinking that forms part of the 4 C's that Dr. Murphy, baking cookies for children around Christmas holidays in a campy promotional video, one student under a naming committee, a junior, to change the name of Washington Lee High School, apparently never heard those facts in Time magazine and current events, and was encouraged to tell that incorrect history that she learned in an Arlington Public School classroom of history, because she could tell it so much better than the county historical expert was guaranteed a position on the renaming committee for his designated expertise. It was a committee formed after an impassioned consideration by the elected members of the school board, who include amongst them persons with advanced degrees, who would never join the ranks of those uneducated persons who voted for the current president or even consider the innovative ideas of the new Secretary of Education. It was a decision relying upon the scientific method of a national online poll to determine the sentiments and feelings of a local community. While crying and waving into wet t-shirts, apparently the epitome of erudition for a child of the Enlightenment. The unanimous collective of great minds, so confident that at the same meeting they rejected inclusion of superfluous words of high standards, concluded that General Robert E. Lee, who applied for and received a grant of amnesty from the federal government, was under law a traitor nonetheless, and had led to an increase of crime, which perhaps includes the ongoing felony grand larceny embezzlement that is paying for the legal defense fees of one of their distinguished colleagues, who, according to one local leader, should not have her character disparaged during her campaign by persons requesting for her to denounce the anonymous trolls who were committing felonies and supporting her political campaign, now the subject of litigation. But they say that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and just one face launched 1,000 ships, which brings us back to the RMS Titanic and her maiden voyage that will long not be forgotten, surviving at least in dramatic retelling on film on the silver screen. Are you ready for the test? Why does the Arlington Public School Board History of Washington Lee High School state that a man who died aboard the RMS Atlantic, aboard the RMS Titanic in the waters off Newfoundland in April 1914, last seen rescuing women and children to assist them into the inadequate number of lifeboats on the ship, with a tragic design flaw that would prevent it from being considered, is the same man and artist who created the seal that is used for Washington Lee High School, which opens its doors almost a decade later in 1925, surviving an elimination round of names to defeat the former dean of Central High School. Perhaps he was Christian, possessed with psychic power, or perhaps up from the grave he arose. But there must be some practical, rational, and scientific explanation beyond faith in his coward's order to explain why these simple numbers just do not add up. I do solemnly swear support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. That I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which I am about to enter. So help me God. Not unmindful of the future is the motto of Washington and Lee University. My name is Major Mike Webb, and I am running for U.S. Congress. In liberty, with honor and excellence, the South shall rise again. Honest.
This advertisement was authorized by Mike Webb.